Was the Pfizer COVID tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Woo. Man, we getting at it already, man. But yeah, welcome back, y'all. It's your boy Step the Messenger, man. As y'all can see, I'm, bundled up, man. Your boy fighting some type of illness, It feel like a cold slash, what I'm saying, something. And I don't ever get sick, so that's crazy, man. So, as you can see, I'm bundled up, man. Jacket, neck piece, hat, you know what I'm saying? Water, you know what I'm saying? Hand sanitizer. But yeah, what's up with it, y'all? Like I said, it's Step the Messenger. We just want to get it in tonight, get it in today. When I say we, man, because I don't just represent myself, but a collective. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to dive in, into this, topic. Make sure I got my audio. In regards to this topic, man, that's been super controversial. And the reason I'm not picking it up, or discussing this topic is because of the controversy of it. But the reason why I'm, discussing it, right? Because, man, like, in the past up to this point, the world, society, so many of our friends and our families, co-workers, we all have been deceived into going by what, the media says, in regards to a specific sickness. Turn this heater off, son. In regards to a specific sickness, man, and I just want y'all to, now that some time has passed, I just want y'all to be able to see what's currently going on, examine the evidence, right? So we can really see how true the Bible is, right? And when I say how true the Bible is, because the goal and the purpose of for everything that's going on is to lead to what the Bible calls the mark of the beast, right? And all that type of stuff. And that systems, it's a whole system, a financial system, a moral system, a digital currency, worldwide religion system as well, right? So it encompasses all of that, man. But I just want y'all to see, right, like how much our perceptions has been played with, right, as we are able to see the truth for what it is, man. So give yourself a chance right now, man, and peep game, right? Don't be scared to see the truth, right? Because the thing about Satan is he's not scared to like deceive you, you know, and however far he got to go to deceive you, right? He ain't scared to do that at the expense of your life, right? And for some, this may not result into your life, or I mean, it may not result to the expense of your life. For some, it will, right? And like I said, the situation I'm talking about is this medical situation that's going on, right? It's connected with biblical prophecy in a major way. I just want people to wake up. There's a reason why all of this is going on, right? We can't just go off of our senses, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. God did give us common sense, but what we witnessed during this, pandemic, is how society, most people just threw their common sense out the window, right? And God gave you that, right? That ain't for nobody to dictate. He gave that for our own protection, our own safety, and all that type of stuff. And we can't allow society, right, to deceive us with its fear tactics and its deceptive measures, um, and regarding, how it uses media, right? Our jobs, the financial system, right? Because Satan, all of these are ultimately going to be tools that he used to, pull off his agenda. But we going to get into his agenda, man. So far, man, as I've been studying, man, like, it led me to a deep study to, like, figure out why the health system, the medical system is moving the way they are, man, because it doesn't make sense. But then when you do research, you see why, right? They're doing what they're doing. Because the medical system is owned by, right, a popular guy, one of the richest families in the world, um, who goes by the Rockefellers, David Rockefeller, and as we can see right here, let's see. They say home is where the heart is. Let me turn the music down. But as we can see, this is who David Rockefeller is, right? And this was an interesting quote that he said in his book, right? And what I want to do is I just want to connect the dots with this quote, right? Connect the dots with the Bible and what has taken place so far, right? The last couple podcasts I've continued to mention Matthew 24 verses 6 through 8, right? Where they talking about wars and famines and pestilences and earthquakes and all that, all these things that's going to take place, that's going to lead us to this man's agenda, right? God is trying to wake his people up, right? Because ultimately this is going to cost us our salvation, right? And I'm probably going to talk about that on tomorrow's podcast. But when I say it's going to ultimately cost us our salvation, I'm talking about what's coming, the decisions that we're going to be forced to make, right? God isn't concerned with a medical decision, right, regarding our salvation. But don't get me wrong, God is concerned, right? Because this is our bodies is his temple, right? And his you know, our bodies being his temples, that's where he dwell in. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. I don't believe God, man, I ain't gonna get too far in that, man, but God ain't leading people to go against his common sense and his wisdom that he's giving them, right? And when I say wisdom, right, we gonna see what I mean when I talk about health, right? As you can see up top, faith, diet, and natural wellness. All of these things matter to God, right? And guess what? Satan don't care. He coming for all that too. He coming to attack your faith. He got his GMO agenda to attack our diets, and he owned the medical industry, right? So natural wellness, the medical industry ain't offering natural wellness. So yeah, we must understand that. But yeah, back to this quote. Some even believe that the Rockefeller family, are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists, and are conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated, global political and economic structure. One world, if you will. Um, and if that's the charge, I stand guilty. And I am proud of it, right? So, when Satan will tell us the truth, right? In plain sight, he'll put it right there in front of us, right? This guy who's in charge of, the medical industry, right? His family owns it, right? They own the research and those type of things that's, allowed to put out, right? And we gonna see that, right? And I just want people to be more mindful, man. Like, quit trusting this world so much, right? because this world is the enemy of God, right? This world ain't gonna lead nobody to do what's best regarding God. That ain't the interest of this world. You know, that ain't the goal of it. You know what I'm saying? Satan is gonna steer this world, right, to steer everybody else straight to hell, right? And guess what? Your kids, your grandma, you know, whoever, you know what I'm saying? So we just got to be more mindful of that. But let me get back on topic. So we saw Mr. Rockefeller. He's deceased now, you know, but his family is still, you know, in charge doing their thing behind the scenes, right? And nowadays, man, like these secret societies is a major thing, right? We can't act like we can't play dumb now, right? Like if you still want to be blind to the fact that, you know, secret societies exist and they have a, you know, an agenda that is separate from what the public perceives it, you know what I'm saying? Like they got a secret agenda and they agenda isn't in favor with you, right? Neither is it in favor with the God of, you know, with the God of the Bible. They against him. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's crazy because people like, you know, the Rockefellers and their families and the Rothschilds and all that, you know, they secret society members and, you know, they Satanists and all that. But, you know, the world, I mean, Christians, right, who's supposed to be following God and supposed to be, you know, aware of these things as far as following Christ and being aware that the world is the enemy, you know, Christians nowadays agree with the Satanists who's running the world, you know, and agree and complying with their agenda. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't God's will, man. That's why God says, you know, his people perish for the lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge. But yeah, that was Rockefeller, man. And check this out, how the Rockefellers' agenda, you know, is in line with another, you know, so-called Satanist, you know, one of the world leaders. Check this out. Like Christ ain't paid your debt. Sell your soul for respect. You know what I'm saying? That's one of his buddies, right? Henry Kissinger. But that ain't the Kissinger, I think that's how you say it. But this is who I want y'all to focus on right now. This Pope, right? It says the Pope calls for a new world order after the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing that, you know, the Rockefeller guy was speaking on, right? This is a plan that he was trying to make happen, right? As you read the bottom, you can see where it says, you know, an establishment of a new world order, right? And to, you know, our Christian people, man, don't be so shallow. Like, oh yeah, man, it's just gonna be all right. I ain't got nothing to worry about. Now you do, because this new world order, you know, this world, right? This system that's coming, it's gonna make you choose, right? It's gonna make you make a eternal decision, right? That will, you know, cost you your salvation, right? This is the same person who is responsible for world religions, right? The Pope, right? He runs you know what I'm saying? Religions. Any religion outside of the Bible came from this man. Not specifically him, but, you know, every line of the Pope. You know what I'm saying? So, Christian people, wake up. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of people don't like, you know, Christianity, because they just be, you know, they so dumb and shallow. You know what I'm saying? Christians be so lost in the sauce because they love money so much. And, you know, you can just, you know, peep game from the outside looking in and just seeing how people contradict the Bible. And Christians are okay with it. Not just based on, you know, our moral compass, but also based on just like, we know the Bible say, you know, this, but why are we accepting, right, churches and pastors going against the Bible? You know what I'm saying? So it just don't make sense. You know, you got pastors and elders, you know. But don't get me wrong. And when I was saying you got pastors and elders going against the Bible, you know, the Bible say a man and one wife and stuff like that, ruling his family. And you got pastors whose homes are out of order. You know what I'm saying? But this podcast ain't about that. I'm just saying, right? That's why Christianity ain't respected. You know what I'm saying? But don't negate that. Don't negate the whole truth, right? Because the other side of it is there is, you know, believers out here who are living the truth and living up to the standard that God, you know, is calling us to through His power. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so the Great Reset, this New World Order is going to lead to a green economy, right? A green economy. And a green economy is that same financial system that this man was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Economics, you know, a new economic structure. You know what I'm saying? That just theme music. Let me go back to it. And this is all a part of, you know, Revelations 13. I'm gonna get to that later. But I just want to, like, you know, set the tone with all that, right? But now I want y'all to see how you know, COVID didn't make sense. Dang, I ain't supposed to say it. They out here banning people, flagging you when you say it. But it didn't make sense when they instituted it or, you know, put it in place or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't make sense at all, right? And now we about to see, right, how they're admitting, like, yeah, I'm sorry, like, you know, and not just admitting that they're sorry, but, you know, they're being exposed that they're lying. You know, the same things that they were saying from the jump, from the beginning, you know, it's coming to the light that they was lying. You know what I'm saying? And imagine how many people put their trust into all these, you know what I'm saying? Into what the TV was saying, into what their family members was telling regarding, yeah, get the shot, get the shot, get the shot. They was lying, right? And this is just segue for what's to come later on down the road. That social pressure from media, from what's going on. Yeah, people, you know, die from this, right? But Satan is willing to go that far to pull off his deception at the cost of people dying, right? People dying still doesn't mean that you know, the poison, you know, was the legitimate means or the right solution, you know what I'm saying, to not, you know, die from the, you know what I'm saying, the virus. You know what I'm saying? We got to peep game on that. But let's see where I want to start. I showed y'all, you know, dude's agenda. I showed y'all, you know, the Pope's agenda regarding the future, right? A new economic structure, right? The Bible, you know, Jesus foretold of all that, you know, Revelation 13. And all this is going to lead to the, you know, mark of the beast, you know, and Sunday law. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to discuss Sunday law. Sunday law is important. Sunday law is very, very important to the Antichrist, right? The Antichrist is the world, the guy who I was, you know, explaining to y'all earlier, who runs, you know, all the world religions, right? I spoke of on him in an old podcast too. But yeah, Sunday law is important to him, right? His remedy to all that's going on is Sunday law, right? But in order to get Sunday law in place, which is the end goal, because once you get Sunday law in place, now, you know, comes this new economic structure, and, you know, whatever else that it entails. You know what I'm saying? Which, according to the Bible, says it will entail, you know, we won't be able to buy or sell if we don't worship a certain way, right? So we're gonna discuss that, you know, probably a couple podcasts later. But I just want y'all to see, right, just the red flags, right? Um, Check this lady out, how she admits, who owns, the science that we all, I ain't gonna say that we all, that all those who, accepted, that, this shot was the true remedy to save them from dying from this virus. Check out what she's saying. And not just that, I just want y'all to see what they're actually doing, right? How they're censoring, right? So if you think it was hard for you to, be rational, back then, 2020, it's going to be even harder in what's to come, right? Now, all the logical, and wise and righteous, ideas in dealing with, sicknesses and, that the natural remedies that will help you, overcome these sicknesses, those are going to be canceled. You know what I'm saying? So right now is the time. That's why I'm trying to show y'all through this. This is, if we can't get this right now, right? Satan got your mind by the strings, right? Like, and he's only, he only can do that because of, all the benefits that come with, controlling your mind by the strings. Because people love money so much and love, just this false sense of prosperity that, the world is offering them in place of, following Christ, right? And denying ourselves. Right? So, and that's the truth. Like, that really is. But check out what she's saying.
You will, at the top of your search, you will get all kinds of UN resources. We started this partnership when we were shocked to see that when we Googled climate change, we were getting incredibly distorted information right at the top. So we're becoming much more proactive. We own the science, and we think that the world, should know it. And the platforms themselves also do incredibly distorted information right at the top. So we're becoming much more proactive. We own the science, and we think that the world, should know it. And the platforms themselves also do.
So that's them telling y'all, man. She's a representative of, the World Economic Forum and the United Nations and all that, man. She told y'all they partnered up with Google. So now when you look it up, right, it's going to direct you to what they want you to know and what they want you to accept as truth. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. We got to peep game now, right? And we got to peep game. Because, and I'm going to show you what's to come too, right? Like, we got to pass the test, right? We got to get our hearts right with God. And I'm not saying this is the case with everybody, but I'm saying, right, our hearts can be so full of the love of the world that we just go along with whatever the world say and do without using this common sense. Man, I'm working on teaching my son that thing. Like, son, you need that. Own that. And that's what I'm saying. We have to own this God-given ability of common sense, right? The media is dumbing us down, right? The culture is dumbing us down, right? And that's foolish. But y'all heard that for yourself. She admitted we own science. It is what it is. What y'all see, is what we allow y'all to see, basically. And that's just how this thing gonna go, right? So they cutting off all these, alternative, platforms that's trying to wake y'all up and give y'all the truth, right? How else would you think? What would Jesus do in this day and age? He'll be trying to give y'all the truth, right? Through the means that he can, rather it's in person. Jesus will get canceled. He'll come up on alternative platforms and try to give y'all the truth, to try to wake y'all up from the love of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a trap. He said it. He said it himself. The love of riches. And if we only knew what's to come, man, you know what I'm saying? We got to let go and come out of this, you know what I'm saying? What the Bible, this world, this culture, the Bible calls it, you know, Babylon. You know what I'm saying? Just the spirit of Babylon is all in it. You know what I'm saying? And people, man, let me move on to the next. So we talked about the Rockefeller guy, right? Check this out, man. This is based on a, you know, Rockefeller Foundation, right? Something that, you know, I ain't gonna say took place, but it just came to light that the Rockefeller Foundation predicted, right? Predicted, you know, everything that is happening right now, right? Everything that happened in 2020 and everything that's gonna happen, you know, in the future. The Rockefeller Foundation predicted this to the T, right? And it ain't cause, like, you know, God is on their side and giving them divine intervention. You know what I'm saying? That just lets the, you know, that just lets us know that what's going on, right? What's going on in this world, right, is pre-planned, right? And a lot of things that's going on in the dark is coming to light, right? There was a lot of things that was, you know, that was in the dark for a long time that wasn't able, not that it wasn't able, it just, they wasn't just bringing it to light like it is now. You know what I'm saying? Just boldly just telling you what's happening and what we gonna do and what you gonna do about it, right? And that's just an opportunity for us to, like, peep game, see what's really real. Because I'm telling you, this is going to cost you your salvation. This may even cost you your life, right? And that ain't me trying to scare you, right? But ultimately, this is going to cost you your salvation, because this movement, right, this medical movement of, you know, pestilences, you know, viruses and shots and all of that, they going to ride this to the wheel fall off, right? And I think I got more information. So I'm going to show y'all about the Rockefeller Foundation, and then I'm going to go back to the lady who was speaking on how they own the science and own the information, right? Don't let them own you, though, right? There's another way outside of the information they giving you. You know what I'm saying? If they say 1 + 1 is 3, you still have the ability to be like, nah, 1 + 1 is 2, right? And stick to that. But yeah, check this out, though. This is interesting.
That could play out over the next 15 to 20 years. One of them involved a global pandemic that's remarkably similar to what happened over the last year.
Hold on, let me record
Rockefeller
it.
Foundation,
Rewind.
far-left Rockefeller Foundation helped produce a shockingly prescient report on 4 possible future scenarios that could play out over the next 15 to 20 years. One of them involved a global pandemic that's remarkably similar to what happened over the last year. During this pandemic, quote, international mobility of both people and goods screeched to a halt. Normally bustling shops and office buildings sat empty for months, devoid of both employees and customers. National leaders around the world imposed airtight rules and restrictions, from the mandatory wearing of face masks to body temp checks.
And this is May 2010, y'all.
Wow, that does sound familiar. 10, 11 years ago. The report went on to detail how the powers that be would never let that imaginary crisis end. Even
Oh, did y'all hear that? They would never allow that imaginary crisis to end, right? Right? Which confirms the Bible saying, you know, how this is going to lead to the mark of the beast, right? Christ is coming back, right? This must take place before he comes back. Satan know his time is short. Satan know his time is short, but you don't. But you're a Christian, right? When your time is short, you get desperate. You get crazy. You don't hold back. You know what I'm saying? Satan knows his time is short. Don't get lost in the sauce, man. Thinking you got another 10, 20 years to live your best life. That's going to cost you your soul. I'm telling you, that false prosperity, lust in your heart, that's going to cost you your soul, right? But yeah, let me rewind it a little bit.
National leaders around the world impose airtight rules and restrictions, from the mandatory wearing of face masks to body temp checks. Wow, that does sound familiar. 10, 11 years ago. The report went on to detail how the powers that be would never let that imaginary crisis end. Even after the pandemic faded, this more authoritarian control and oversight of citizens and their activities stuck and even intensified.
What they say? Authoritarian. Sorry, man, I ain't got the best English. That's basically, the same thing as what the Bible calls, the one world government that's coming. Revelations 13, read verses 15, 16, and 17, right? They about to dictate and enforce some things to happen, right? They giving us this is in 2010, right? And this is happening, just the way they said it right now in 2022. And we still want to say conspiracy theory. You know what I'm saying? When is it just going to be the truth? When is it just going to be, nah, the Bible is truth. I need to get my house in order. I need to quit faking and believe in the true living God and turn from sin and follow Christ and, surrender my heart to doing his will, right? Why can't that be, the answer? Why is it conspiracy theory? Because this ain't no conspiracy, right? This probably would have been a conspiracy. You can call it a conspiracy theory. If none of this has happened, we can just be like, man, nah, that's just a plan. They saying that's going to happen, but man, that's just hearsay. But these events, like, it played out just the way they said it. And unfortunately, it's going to continue to play out just the way they said it. We got to wake up, y'all. Wake up, my people. Get right with the Lord. Heed his voice. Surrender to him. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no game. This ain't no, no conspiracy theorist agenda. This is Bible truth, Bible prophecy, fulfilling, right? God said this will happen before they, exposed it in 2010. You know what I'm saying? The Bible was here before them. Oh, man, so let me hit play, man. I just want y'all to peep game. This ain't no game.
Citizens willingly gave up some of their sovereignty and their privacy to more paternalistic states.
Man, their sovereignty and their privacy. Did we not do that? I forgot what was the medical laws called? HIPAA? Man, places start imposing, to know your medical business. You can't, it ain't your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't your right to know my business like that. But people willingly gave that up, right? We still have the right to to protect, you know what I'm saying, to conceal that. People ain't gotta know that. But when this virus happened, everybody just cooperated. And they gonna feed on that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna lead to, you know, this digital ID and what is it called? Vaccine passports, and all that, man. Just giving up. We just surrendering everything. Pretty soon we can be like, yeah, the Constitution here. You know what I'm saying? That's what the goal is. You know, that's what their goal is, to socialize us into doing that. They already predicted that we were gonna give up our sovereignty and our privacy. You know what I'm saying? Man, let's see.
In exchange for greater safety and stability. This heightened oversight took many forms. Biometric IDs for all citizens, tighter regulations of industries whose stability was deemed vital to national interests. Far left Rockefeller.
Man, I'm like, is that not the Bible, y'all? Go read Revelation 13. A digital ID. In order to enforce, you know, people not being able to buy or sell, right? That would involve, you know, a worldwide digital currency. You know what I'm saying? The money as it is right now, you know what I'm saying? I can go spend and I can go exchange wherever I can, you know, but that digital money coming. And we're going to talk about that before this end too. You know what I'm saying? Because I want y'all to see how close we are to it. Right? But yeah, I said we was going to go back to this later. Let me see.
Again, it's a huge challenge that I think all sectors of society need to and the platforms themselves, but
all right, so yeah, I think I got like 2 or 3 more little clips that I want y'all to see. This next clip is you know, one of the media heads for CNN. You know, he's spilling the beans out like, hey, yo, we about to sucker the people, you know, into like, we about to play on their mind so cold that we about to, you know, beat them over the head with this climate change. Right? Like, they gonna believe it by the time we get done. Right? It's gonna continue to, you know, and it's called, you know, socializing us into, you know, or manipulating, right? So we gotta just be aware of society, be aware of, you know, media, be aware of, you know, what people tell us. You know what I'm saying? Check this out though.
Director Charlie Chester said the media companies' next focus will, quote, that they will beat to death like they did with the pandemic. Yeah, will be climate change. Let's take a look.
We're going to start focusing mainly on climate, like global warming, and like that's going to be our next, like, I don't know, like, what's the word? It's going to be our focus. Like our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness.
So that's like the next
pandemic like story, like that will beat to death. But that one's got longevity. You know what I mean? It's not like there's a definitive ending to the pandemic, or you know, like it'll taper off to a point that it's, you know, not a problem anymore. I think it's going to take years, so they'll probably be able to milk that for quite a bit.
See, and that makes sense, man, because this climate change, right? It's supposed to lead us to, you know, this new, you know, my bad, let me take this off. Yeah, I'll leave it like this. Climate change, this climate change agenda, right? Is supposed to lead us to, right, Sunday law, right, this one world government. right? Sunday law is a very important law, you know, in regards to this one world government that's to come, right? Because that's ultimately what they want to do, according to the Bible, right? Is to, you know, impose worship and enforce it, just like they forced this vaccine, right? And we ain't really seen force yet when it comes to this vaccine, because, right, like what's coming, right? You really about to see the difference, right? Yeah, Satan don't play fair, man. But yeah, this climate change agenda is it's gonna lead us to, right, the mark of the beast, right? So despite the famines that's to come, right, climate change is still gonna be a thing. Despite, you know, the pestilences, climate change is still gonna be a thing. The wars, climate change. Uh, yeah, it's gonna be a thing as the Bible predicted. Um, and not just that, this new economic system, right, is centered around climate change as well. The currency, right? If y'all watched the last podcast, that's where we, you know, showed y'all the digital currency, right? That's to come. That's centered around, you know, climate change. Um, as we saw, the Pope, you know, he called it a green deal, you know, a green economy. So it's economy, right? A digital currency that's centered around climate change, right? So climate change, because of climate change, our spending is limited, right? Because if we spend too much, they're saying it's causing climate change to, you know, be out of whack. And it's causing the climate to change, and it's causing nature to be out of whack and be out of sync and stuff like that, right? Which don't even make sense, right? And I'm only saying that because of the, you know, the real scientists who I listened to and broke it down. You know, they saying like, no, climate change ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Because water is rising in our ocean, that doesn't mean, you know, climate change is happening, right? When the ice melts, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't add water to the ocean, right? Hold on, let me say it a better way, right? If, man, I can't use this. If I got this cup and it's full of water, right? Then I put it in the freezer, right? And then I let that water thaw out, right? The same amount of water is in there or even less, right? It's not gonna lead to an overflow. You get what I'm saying? And that's the way they broke down, you know, climate change and, you know, how the world tries to justify, you know, these climate change laws. But yeah, we just got to peep game. This is what I was trying to show y'all, right? It say we must celebrate arrests from buying and selling, right? So that's what the green economy is centered around, you know, celebrating climate rest from buying and selling, right? And somewhere else it's called the Green Deal, right? So that's why climate change is so essential. And that's why, you know, the Pope and other people have said it's a waste. It would be a disgrace for them to, you know, allow this, you know, pandemic to be wasted, right? Because it's essential for them to, you know, get to this new world order, get to this one world government, one world currency, and all that type of stuff, right? It was essential for them, right? So that's why I'm just connecting the dots of what this guy was saying. It was accurate.
It's not like there's a definitive ending to the pandemic, or like it'll taper off to a point that it's not a problem anymore. I think it's going to take years, so they'll probably be able to milk that for quite a bit.
And that's accurate, man. Like I said, you know, The Pope even says right here, he says, right, the New World Order will happen after the pandemic, which means the pandemic will end, right? But the green economy comes after, the pandemic, which means climate change will still be there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, check out this next video, man. Like I said, I'm just trying to expose, how they lie and how they playing with your senses. And they playing with your health. You know what I'm saying? They ultimately, right, will be playing with your salvation, right? When it comes to this mark of the beast, right? Because this decision affects our salvation, right? And not just that, man. It starts now. You know what I'm saying? Obeying God is essential. You know what I'm saying? How do I say it? I don't want to say it wrong because some people, they got the wrong understanding of, the gospel and things like that. They think you can disobey God all you want and still be saved. You know what I'm saying? Salvation ultimately leads us to, repentance, you know what I'm saying, and walking in, or at least trying to walk in obedience. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is connecting that with, obedience to God in these days and hours, these final days and hours is essential. God may be on your conscience like, hey, yo, don't take that shot. Don't do that. Hey, so-and-so, move out the city, man. Get out the city, move to the country. You know what I'm saying? And we in this all together, right? If we all trying to live and follow God. You know what I'm saying? But check out this next video, man, how they playing with our senses. I really want y'all to be aware of this. God wants us to be aware of this, right? Because more deadlier deceptions are to come, right? We're going to expose a deadly deception tomorrow regarding salvation. Check this next video out.
Weather Channel is now responding to reports that one of their reporters was essentially faking it during his coverage of Hurricane Florence.
Probably seen the video on Facebook as that reporter struggles to keep his balance.
Okay, picking it up here in Wilmington, North Carolina, right at the Intracoastal, and we're in one of these bands.
So now a spokesperson for the Weather Channel is defending Seidel, saying it's important to note that the two individuals in the background are walking on concrete while Seidel tries to maintain his footing.
People, we got to understand, they will make up any type of lie to justify their foolishness, right? But the sad truth is people will still believe that, like, you know what I'm saying? So we got to peep game, man. We see the foolishness right here. Faking it. I'm going to rewind it, though. Y'all better quit, man. Y'all better use your common sense.
Probably seen the video on Facebook as that reporter struggles to keep his balance.
Okay, picking it up here in Wilmington, North Carolina, right at the Intracoastal, and we're in one of these bands.
So now a spokesperson for the Weather Channel is defending Seidel, saying it's important to note that the two individuals in the background are walking on concrete while Seidel tries to maintain his footing on wet grass. The spokesperson goes on to say Seidel was exhausted after reporting on air until 1 a.m.
Yeah, all right. Here he go again. He's still at it, huh?
To get the stress out the guy that went down below tropical storm force, that might not happen until tomorrow. I mean, it's going to come right down on these buildings, and I mean, don't be stuck in anything. It doesn't higher, by 2 times just because of the way that it's falling through those buildings. So that's what we're going to have to watch out for. There's a lot of windows, there's a lot of pieces of debris certainly flying around. So guys,
Body posture changed quick, didn't he? He's exposing himself. Look at him.
I mean, it's going to come right down on these buildings, and I mean, don't be stuck in anything. It doesn't higher, by 2 times just because of the way that it's falling through those buildings. So that's what we're going to have to watch out for.
Ain't no grass there, bro.
Windows, there's a lot of pieces of debris certainly flying around. So guys, we will absolutely do our best to bring you coverage as long as
Man, like I said, remember, the reason why I'm showing y'all these videos, peep game. Don't let them play you like a dummy. God gonna hold that against you. He fooled, we all can be fooled once. Because we didn't want to believe, right, that the world will really be on this type of foolishness. Even though Christ spoke that Satan is the God of this world. You know what I'm saying? He playing the long game. He'll provide a comfortable, lifestyle and all that for you. Then come with that left hook, you know what I'm saying, and deceive you with it, and you will never see it coming. Same thing with this, poison. You know what I'm saying? And I'm against the poison. Well, we're gonna talk about health at the end, right? It's gonna bring it all together. Natural wellness at the end. But check this out. This dude was interesting too, man. Hopefully y'all can understand him. I think he's over in Israel or something like that. Check him out, dog.
Professor of Theoretical Physics and Chemistry at Ben Gurion University in Israel. I'm also a member of Ben Gurion University's School for Sustainability and Climate Change and the School for Nanoscale Science and Technology, also at Ben Gurion University. I'm also one of the founders of the Israeli Forum for Rational Environmentalism, which is basically a think tank advocating for rational thinking in topics of climate, environment, and energy. There is no, what we would call it in science, a smoking gun evidence that CO2 is related even to the majority of heating.
Ooh, y'all hear that? This is regarding climate change. He said there is no evidence, right? No, he said smoking gun evidence, meaning like there is nothing that's, that's like really like evidence that's really like justifying, what they saying is going on. There's none, right? But remember, like the lady said, we own the science. So if we say, right, that's what's happening. That's what they say. But he's a scientist. He's saying there's no evidence, right, of what they saying is going on to be going on. Check them out, man.
In topics of climate, environment, and energy. There is no, what we would call it in science, a smoking gun evidence that CO2 is related even to the majority of heating. We simply do not know. Now, this is something, you won't hear a lot of scientists say, right?
They don't know. It's like a confession of defeat,
right?
Man, thank you for keeping it real, my brother.
Yeah. But that's the honest truth. It's a complicated system. We don't know. And there's actually, this is stated in the IPCC report.
And I think that was a good point where he said, like, there's no proof to, like, really, like, come to the conclusions that they're coming to, right? Like, he just saying this as a true scientist. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that.
In something called the equilibrium of climate sensitivity, that's the number that relates temperature to CO2, and it's all over the place. And our estimations of the contribution to CO2 hasn't changed from 1979.
Hasn't changed, y'all. But based on the world, they saying it has changed. Climate change is taking place right now.
After billions of dollars invested into climate science, we don't know the answer.
I'm following the system of these people, the way they think. We're the enemy.
Yes.
Humans are now the enemy.
That is true. Like, that's where it's leading to. We being the enemy because of, we're being blamed for, what's going on in nature.
Am
I right?
I completely agree with this. When you try to look at the root philosophy behind the climate alarmism, what you find out is that the ideal is an unimpacted nature. Gaia. The environment. You hear people talking, we must save the environment. What is the environment, right? It's an intangible thing.
We must save the environment. He said, what is the environment? It's an intangible thing. The environment ain't just one thing. You know what I'm saying? We can't just go outside, man. He's spitting facts, man.
What is it?
So it has evolved into a spiritual thing.
It is a spiritual thing.
And a goddess in a way.
In a real way.
Our goddess, huh? Nature worship. That's interesting, because nature worship is a big part of sun worship, right? Which this coming one world government will incorporate, worship, on the day of the sun. Sunday worship, you know what I'm saying?
And everything we do is first measured not by how good it is for humans, how does it promote human flourishing and human well-being, but the first thing it's measured by is it impacting the planet? Is it impacting the environment? Are we changing Gaia? Of course, if you follow the logic of this ideal, then clearly the cure is that there will be no humans on the planet, right? Then the ideal is complete.
I know what that sound like to me, man. One of the Rockefellers, and the Pope, all them, man, they all in on this thing, this depopulation agenda, right? So depopulation, being the remedy in order to preserve the, the climate or whatever, to preserve nature, right? That sounds like, that's something they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So if they willing to give you a poison in your arm, right, in order to help preserve nature, right, even though it's not doing that, what make you think, it's not eventually going to come to a point where if you ain't resting on the day we tell you to rest on, right, we gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? That's biblical. And another point, what was unique about what he said was, in order to preserve the climate, man, their remedy is dealing with us like we the issue. But as I stated on the last, let me see if I could find it. Check it out. Just 100 companies responsible for 71 of the global emissions. 100, y'all. Why don't they just, start with that instead of a vaccine, poison, you know what I'm saying? To try to, all I'm just wanting y'all to see, man, how this ain't adding up. Right? Hopefully y'all starting to catch on, right? I got another video, I'm gonna skip that. But this is gonna be probably my last video, and I just add them. We'll see. See, I got some scriptures too. Dang, should I show? All right, Ben, I'm gonna show a couple more videos to show how, what they were saying about COVID, wasn't adding up, and how dirty your boy Dr. Fauci's hands was behind the scenes in regards to, COVID. He was saying this disease came about, based on a natural process, but it came to light, that it was due to a, manipulation, man-made, you know what I'm saying? Virus created in the lab, you know what I'm saying? Check this out.
It is not a conspiracy to say there were live bats at the lab. It is a fact. And as
Yeah, because they wasn't supposed to have, right? They wasn't supposed to have bats at the lab, right? They were supposed to, find them in the wild, right? And however they want to go about it, get a sample and all that, and let them go back in the wild. They wasn't supposed to, bring them to the lab. And they were actually saying that they wasn't bringing them to the labs anyway, right? And guess who was funding all this? Hold on, my bad. Bats in the lab.
to say there were live bats at the lab. It is a fact. And as you can see, this video shows bats in a cage at the Wuhan Institute.
And the question is, how would a virus start from a bat in a lab? The question is, what is going on in that lab for a virus to spread? You know what I'm saying? And look, it's about to tell us.
You can also see there a researcher feeding a bat with a worm. And in this image, we can see researchers out capturing bats, and a bat even hangs off a researcher's hat. In another image, there are mouse cages, hundreds of them. We know that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was using humanized mice for experiments to see which coronaviruses could infect humans.
That's what was going on, huh? Y'all testing viruses on rats to see how they will affect us.
Yeah, a bat hanging off his hat. Okay, yeah, no bats. The footage also shows that officials in the Wuhan lab were very aware.
Alright, I think that's all I got. Let me see what this one says.
Top medical advisor to the president on the coronavirus, and he told the public this was a natural virus. He only changed his tune recently. Even though he knew at the time, we know there was advice to him at the time, that the sequences of SARS-CoV-2 looked like they may have been genetically manipulated.
Genetically manipulated, y'all. I'm not saying the virus ain't real, right? It was created, right? I don't know if y'all believe that or not, but viruses can be created. Like a lot of diseases are created. Could this been created to pull off, to lead us into this new world order agenda? Right? Man, I'm gonna go to that afterwards. Okay. Now check this out, man. Check your boy Fauci, man, when he finally got confronted in the courts. This was recent, right? Let me see. Try to pull it up. Yeah, I can't say the name of this company, because they're a big billion-dollar company, right? And I don't want, right? I want to give y'all opportunity to, hear it, see it, and all that without it getting flagged. But it starts with a P, right, and an F, right? PFIZ, right? I say it like that. And like I stated earlier, we know who owns the medical industry, right? And we know who was behind all these, shots. This company, one of many companies, but this company, starts with a P, right? Second letter F-I-Z, right? Check this out as, man, they was getting that pressure put on them, this company and Dr. Fauci, right, for misleading the public, right? And they hold them accountable to what they were saying in the beginning, right? Which contradicts what they're saying now, right? So they were lying in the beginning, right? And they're lying at the cost of people getting shot up with poison, right? So there's a reason this is happening, but I just want y'all to see this. Like, it's a dirty game out here. Check this out.
Regarding the question around...
My bad, I tried to hurry up on mine.
Was the Pfizer COVID tested on stopping the transmission?
And this video is blurred out when it says the V word, the long V word. So it shows it at the bottom.
Was the Pfizer COVID?
And this guy is questioning, right? Pfizer, right?
Tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
All right, and I want y'all, just in case y'all didn't understand what he was saying, because I wrote it down. He asks, does it prevent the disease? Does this poison prevent the disease? And you're going to hear what they, admit. And let me rewind it.
If not, please, on stopping the transmission. Was the Pfizer COVID tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market?
So was it tested on being able to stop the virus from spreading or affecting people before it was released and sold? That's the questions he's asking.
If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping immunisation before it entered the market? No.
She said no. See who they represent. Pfizer, right?
We had to really move at the speed of science to really understand what is taking place in the market. And from that point of view, we had to do everything at risk.
Man, I just want y'all to peep game, man. Please. This is facts. This is truth coming to light. Don't ignore it, right? Are they doing what's in your best interest? It's okay to be like, nah, they ain't. I see that now, even though I thought they was in the beginning. Everybody being still getting shot up with stuff that was never tested. Hey, this dude right here, he don't play though. He about to get at your boy though. Check this out. Telling you, man, God, darkness is gonna come to the light. You know what I'm saying? And when it come to that light, it get ugly.
But she's had the flu for 14 days. Should she get a flu shot?
Well, no. If she got the flu for 14 days, she's...
Look how gangster he going. He playing the man's old flick of him saying, that's back in his days of being an honest scientist when he was speaking the truth. And, you know what I'm saying? Check this out.
But she's had the flu for 14 days. Should she get a flu shot?
Well, no. If she got the flu for 14 days, she's as protected as anybody can be, because the best to get infected yourself.
And
so if she really has the flu, she definitely doesn't need a flu. If she really has the flu,
she should not get it again.
No, she doesn't need it, because it's the most potent is getting infected yourself.
See that, man? That was back in his young whippersnapper days, man. When he was just staying true to the, you know what I'm saying? To the thing of science, to the field. But I'm probably, you know, I'm sure probably nowadays he probably didn't got bought, you know. And people came up to him, either came at him with money or came at him with some force. You know, who knows what made him be on, you know, change his tune. Right, but we about to figure out. But that's gangster, man. Accountability, you don't get no better than that. Using a person's own words against them.
This is an ongoing question, and we've had ever-evolving opinions from you, Dr. Fauci. Currently, antibody surveys show that 80% of children, approximately 80% of children, have had COVID, and yet there are no guidelines coming from you or anybody in the government to take into account their naturally acquired immunity. You seem quite certain of yourself in 2004, but in 2022, there's a lot less certainty. One of the things that we also know after looking at this for 2 to 3 years is that the mortality from COVID is very similar, if not less, than influenza. So when we look at this, we wonder, why you seem to really embrace basic immunology back in 2004 and why you seem to reject it now.
Well, I don't reject basic immunology, Senator. And
hold on, man. I gotta rewind that, man. Y'all see how your boy voice got all shaky and choked up, man? Because now he gotta face the consequences, man. Being held accountable. Because now he teaching, you know what I'm saying? Get vaccinated, get the shot, get the poison at all costs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't reject basic immunology, Senator, and I have never denied that there is importance of the protection following infection. However, as we have said many times, and as has been validated by the authorization by the FDA through their committee and the recommendation by the CDC through their committee, that following infection gives an added extra boost. And that film that you showed is really taken out of context. I believe that was when someone called in who had had a reaction to a vaccine and asked me through a telephone in the interview if they should get vaccinated again. So it was in the context of someone who had a reaction. As a matter of fact, Reuters fact check looked at that and said, Fauci's 2004 comments do not contradict his pandemic stance.
Actually, words don't lie. If you look at the words behind me, we can go over them a little bit at a time. She doesn't need it because the most potent is getting infected yourself.
It is true. It is true, Senator. It is a very potent way to protect.
When you're trying to tell us that
Man, some can't be the truth and a lie at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Make that make sense. But yeah, he getting that pressure, man. But this is just an opportunity to allow everybody to see what's really going on, man, with the games they playing. What you thought was true wasn't true. Things really ain't as they seems, right? As it seems, right? When they play with your perception, it can seem like it and feel like it, but it really ain't. And a lot of people ain't here because of, Fauci and, the Rockefeller and, because they've been on this depopulation for a long time, Operation Depopulation, right? In many ways than one. In more ways than one, I'm sorry. Check this out, see what he about to say. Man.
any of the guidelines involve previous infection. That's why you're ignoring previous infection, because it doesn't involve any of the guidelines. And furthermore, We've been asking you, and you refuse to answer whether anybody on the vaccine committees gets royalties from the pharmaceutical companies. I asked you last time, and what was your response? We don't have to tell you.
Right.
We've demanded them through Freedom of Information Act, and what have you said? We're not going to tell you. But I tell you this, when we get in charge, we're going to change the rules, and you will have to divulge where you get your royalties from what companies, and if anybody on the committee has a conflict of interest, we're going to learn about it. I promise you that.
We're suffering, don't stop the fight. Jesus Christ, he on the way. If your name ain't in them pages, you gon' reap them wages.
Sell your soul for a check, man, you gon' regret. Got them diamonds on your neck, also you can flood. Sell your soul for a check, man, you gon' regret. Got them diamonds on your neck, also you can flood. Sell your soul for a check,
like Christ ain't paid your debt.
sell your soul for respect.
Get right before you get left.
Sell your soul for a check,
Can't take that to your death.
sell your soul for a check.
Man, you gon' regret.
Man, somebody tell your boy Dr. Fauci and all them, man. Rockefeller long gone. If he ain't repenting, his fate is sealed. He gonna have some problems with the Lamb of God when he come back, right? Fauci, man. Y'all see what's going on, y'all. Y'all see. This is overwhelming evidence of what's really going on, and everything isn't as it seems. Yes, they're trying to wipe us out, by the way. Yes, they are. Operation Depopulation. Okay? And that's through, of course, through this poison. Right? They got more ways than one. I don't know specifically yet. I don't believe because there were some poisons that was deadly on the first poke, right? And then there were some poisons that was deadly when all three of them was, you know what I'm saying? When you got all three of them, right? So Lord willing, man, we just got to wake up and see this world for what it really is, or you going to be a victim to it. All right, we got to be some overcomers, right? But yeah, this vaccine, the shot poison. Also, the other plans, right, to do it is GMO. Basically, I don't know if I did it yet, but Bill Gates and a lot of other rich billionaires, they're buying up most of the land, right? So they can own all the farming, and not just own it, but control it. And what their agenda is to get rid of the natural, organic, fruits and vegetables that's for our good, that we need. They are replacing that with genetically modified food, right? And this food will be nutrient deficient, right? Food has to have nutrients, right? Otherwise, we just eating paper. But it's just going to be food without nutrients. And this food is going to lead to, they plan on billions of people, dying by way of starvation, right? Billions, like I think it was like 2 or 3 billion, right? So depopulation is a big part of their plans, whether it be depopulating people by, poison, or depopulate people by, the GMO foods. And I'm only letting you guys know this because the remedy, is to, walk according to the will of God, right? And his will for us, according to the Bible, right, is to move out the cities and grow our own food, right? Our own food that provides the nutrients that we need, right? So that we may not have to live off of them, right? And like I said, we all in this together, right? I'm pushing China, right? See where that door is gonna open in somewhere in the country. And I probably need to invest more in, plants, vegetables, fruits, right? All that type of stuff. And also educating ourselves on, on that lifestyle. The last couple of things I wanted to show y'all too is what's coming. Oh yeah, I told you about them scriptures. Yeah, and if you want to go look up these scriptures, right? It's 2 Kings, chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. Let me just go to it. Put your eyes on it. You were down. You were not recorder. Basically, these scriptures that I'm showing y'all, right? They are examples of how people went to God in the Bible and prayed to Him in the Bible, right? Versus going to these pagan physicians, right? And if you're a pagan physician, your heart is after the practices of a pagan god, right? So when you read 2 Kings chapter 20 verses 1 through 4, you see that Hezekiah became ill, right? Came to him and said, "This is what the Lord says: put your house in order, for you are about to die. You will not recover." Then Hezekiah turned his face to the wall and prayed to the Lord, saying, "Please, Lord, remember how I walked before you faithfully and wholehearted devotion, and how I've done good in your sight." But so far we see he became ill, right? And he turned to the Lord. He prayed, asking God for his blessings and, that type of stuff. But when we go to verse 17, check out God's method of healing, right? And we can go to verse 5, and I guess we can read it from 5, 1 through 7. He said, "Go back and tell Hezekiah," come on. "Go back and tell Hezekiah, the leader of my people, that this is what the Lord, the God of your father David, says. I have heard your prayers, I have seen your tears, and I will surely heal you. On the third day from now, you will go up to the house of the Lord. I will add 15 years to your life, and I will deliver you and this city from the hand of the king of Azariah. I will defend this city and make this city for my sake and for the sake of my servant David." Man, but verse 7 is the key voice. That's a key verse. It's late, y'all. Check out verse 7. Then Isaiah said, "Prepare I don't know how to say that word, potice of figs." So they brought it and applied it to the boil, and Hezekiah recovered. Right? Let me see if I can do it in a NIV. Oh yeah, they all use the same word. Because I'm trying to see. Alright, we can use the New Living Translation. "Make an ointment from figs," right? Take a lump of figs, and they laid it on the boil, and it recovered. Right? So what I want people to see from that is God's remedy of healing Hezekiah was a natural remedy. Right? That's his remedy for us, right? For healing our, you know what I'm saying? right? It ain't going to these, these Satanists, right, who run the world and follow after Satan and who are recommending a poison. God's remedy, right, is natural remedies. God's remedy is, fruits, vegetables, plants, There's healing remedies in these things, right? But let's check out the example when a king, right, he went to a pagan doctor. Like I said, in this story that we just read, this king, right, he saw, he fell ill and he sought the Lord, right? He prayed to the Lord. God heard him, right? Heard what he was going through and healed him, right? But let's go to 2 Kings. What scripture is it? 2 Kings 1. 2 Kings 1. 2 Kings 1. All right, verses 1 through 4. I think after the death of Ahab, Moab rebelled against. Now Hezekiah had fallen through and injured himself. Alright. So dude fell through the, I guess, the window or opening upper room, and he injured himself. So he sent messengers and instructed them, go inquire of Beelzebub. Wow, that's crazy. Just to put a pin in that, right? Satan is the god of this world. And if the leaders who are leading out this health movement regarding the, food, regarding the poison, the shots, right? If they love money and things like that, who is their God? Is it the God of heaven, right? Or is it the God of this world, Satan, right? In this case, it will be Beelzebub, right? So when we go into the world's, right, remedies for healing, we're ultimately going through Beelzebub. And do you think Satan is really trying to heal you? Why do you think they're making so much money off of these shots and so many diseases? But back to the scripture. He said, go and inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron, whether I recover from this injury. But the angel of the Lord said to Elijah, the Tishbite, go up to the messengers of the king and ask them, is it because there is no God in Israel you are on your way to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron? Therefore, this is what the Lord says. You will not get up from the bed of which you are lying. You will surely die. Dang. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. Go to God and pray. His remedy is going to lead us to life, right? Even if we die, it's not we're dying because we're poisoning ourselves, right? God gave the king in 2 Kings chapter 20, verse 1 through 4, his remedy for him. Well, in verse 7, his remedy for him was figs, was plants, right? And this also goes along with the idea that in this day and age, man, before this happened, that common sense, right? Everyone's conscious. I ain't gonna say everyone's conscious, but majority of people's conscience was pricked. You was pricked. A lot of people, nah, I ain't taking this shot. Nah, I ain't taking this poison. Nah, I'm gonna retire before I do that. Nah, I'm gonna do this. Nah, I ain't going out like that. Nah, they got me messed up. I ain't taking that. Probably like majority of the people who probably echoed that or even had that mindset, right? They caved in. And wasn't no pressure really being put on them, right? Maybe besides a job and stuff like that. But that can be Satan's device. Satan is like, that's all I gotta do, right? All I gotta do is put you in a situation where you gotta choose between money, right? Choose between stability, or choose in between instability and being healthy. That's what most people chose. Stability, sign me up. The stability that this world offers leads to the broad road, right? Because in the future, in the near future, their remedy for everything that's going on is going to lead to the mark of the beast. This mark of the beast system will involve the stability of, money, being able to buy and sell, being able to feed yourself, being able to own something, right? Or at least have access to resources at the cost of selling your soul. So we got to wake up, y'all. We got to wake up. Please wake up. Let me take this off. Wake up. Get this love of the world out of us. We must repent, right? And ask God to cleanse us from all unrighteousness, right? That's in our heart. And this is before the mark of the beast even comes. Because if we die tomorrow with this lust of the world in our hearts, and if that's not cleansed, right, by the righteousness of Christ, we in trouble at Judgment Day. Sin ain't making it into heaven, right? I think my last thing I want to show y'all. What's to come, man? How they playing? Stop sharing. If I can find it, I'm gonna share it. Show y'all. Where did I put it? And remember, man, this pandemic, right? Along with the pandemic will eventually end, but climate change is the catalyst to the New World Order, right? To this one world government. So you're gonna hear that a lot. Don't let it confuse you, right? But the pandemic ain't over yet, and I just want y'all to see what's going on. But all this is gonna lead us to a new government, right? A new economic system. But before that comes, this has to fail, right? And they're saying this has to happen in 2023. We're going to talk about that probably on a later podcast, right? But what I want to show y'all is this, right? Paraphrasing, where's that scripture? I'm going to show that. I'm going to close on that. I'm just looking for the scripture where Jesus said, like, if he don't come back in time, if he don't shorten the days, will no man be saved? And won't no man be saved due to the trouble that's happening on the earth, right? I guess I'll share this. So yeah, if those days had not been cut short, nobody would have been saved. For the sake of the elect, those days will be cut short. So Jesus was talking about a future event, And the time that we are heading into is this, you know, this crisis, this, you know, time of trouble that's coming on the world. If Christ doesn't shorten the days, won't nobody be saved and won't nobody survive, right? This depopulation agenda is real, and that's ultimately Satan's goal, is to remove all humans from the earth. He hates them. He hates them, right? Even the ones who's on his side, he hates them, right? He wants them to perish as well. They deceive, right? But this only confirms that, you know, depopulation is real. If Christ didn't shorten the days and come soon enough, we all be out of here. You know what I'm saying? So this depopulation thing is real. And that leads us to my next point. Check this out. Y'all ain't gonna believe it, man. I ain't making this up. Check this out, y'all. Like, why they playing with us like this? Why are they playing with us like this? I do a lot of technical stuff, moving stuff around. And this is why we need to move out, you know, to the country and grow our own food, y'all. But this, right, it says Boston University creates a new COVID strain that has an 80% kill rate, right? Let me see, where do I got that at? This was written October 20, 2022. Let's see, we can go to Daily Mail. That's a credible site. Exclusive. This is playing with fire and could spark a lab-generated pandemic. Experts slam Boston lab scientists have created a new deadly Omicron strain with an 80% kill rate in mice, right? So y'all see the games they playing. And just in case, man, I can hold on, I'm trying to stop sharing. Alright. Make sure the screen's still working. That was only one source, y'all. Let me back it up with another credible source so y'all won't think I'm just out here pulling y'all leg. How do y'all feel about this? This should be a credible source for y'all. If it ain't for y'all, it is for me. The New York Post, y'all. The New York Post, October 17th, 2022. A more lethal strain of COVID created in Boston University lab. Man, the variant, a combination of, killed 80% of the mice infected. Man. So what we got to understand is when it comes to this, y'all, is the Bible is true. If Christ doesn't shorten the days, will no man be saved? Will no man survive? Right? This is what's coming. Right? They already got people to put that poison in them. You know what I'm saying? Wow, this is coming. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't fair. New York Post. And just in case Sean will leave that, like, man, nah, man, you just You stretching, boy. You doing too much. Check this out, y'all. And move, projectile. Gotta do some computer stuff, y'all. Computer stuff. Why everybody telling y'all about the prosperity gospel and you gonna live your best life and God got you, right? Scientists, this is MSN, right? Scientists develop a new lethal COVID strain that killed 80% of the mice infected. Wake up, y'all. Look at the world we in. The Bible is true. Alright? Man. The crazy thing is, let me say how do I, you know, it was predicted that, you know, scientists would be in the labs producing and, you know, coming up with deadly taints. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I still got it. Check this out. In a special book called The Great Controversy, page 589, Satan works through the elements also to garner his harvest of unprepared souls. He has studied the secrets of the laboratories of nature, and he uses all his power to control the elements as far as God allows. Y'all, we got a peep game. In these last days, God is withdrawing his spirit, right? And he's allowing certain things to take place, right? Don't get me wrong. It's based on his permission, right? But ultimately, right, Revelation chapter 7, verses 2 through 3, it talks about the angels holding back the winds of strife, right? They're holding his back so the people of God, right, or the people who are on earth can become sealed by God or can get sealed by God first before they let go, right? Because once, you know, they let go of them winds, of them winds, it's a wrap, right? If you ain't sealed by then, you just ain't gonna never be sealed. And you probably gonna, well, it ain't that you gonna accept the seal of the beast or the mark of the beast, right? So right now is the time, right, for us to get right with God. Quit falling for the okie doke. Even if you did, you ain't got to fall no more. Be wise, right? Follow Christ, not this world, right? Depopulation, right? And this is all just going to lead to, and I wanted to go in on eugenics, how it's basically going to lead to, you know, the people of God being classified as being deemed uneligible to live, right? Because they're not willing to comply, right? So eugenics, you know, Joe Biden has these type of people on his, you know, in his cabinet, on his team, right? People who are the heads of this, you know, shot, you know what I'm saying, the poison, right? So all this ain't by accident. They're doing this intentional. They have no problem with getting people up out of here. They into that. They don't serve the God that we serve, right? But I just want to end it on this note, y'all. Here's some good news. Check this out. There are many ways of practicing the healing art, but there's only one way that heavens approves. God's remedies are simple agencies of nature that will not tax or debilitate the system through their powerful properties, right? Pure air and water, cleanliness, a proper diet, purity of life, man, and a firm trust in God are remedies for the for the want of which thousands are dying. Or you can say for the lack of which thousands are dying, right? Then let's check out the bottom. Let me see, y'all can see. Let's check out the bottom. Are dying. Yet these remedies are going out of date because of their skillful use requires work that the people do not appreciate. Right? We can't be lazy, y'all. I've been, being vegan for a little minute, man. It ain't easy. It does require work, but at this point, we ain't got no choice. The other option is what you see, drug therapy, right? But these are just, I think, 6 or 7 just practical things that we can do that can lead or that will lead to a healthy life, natural wellness. You know what I'm saying? Fresh air, right? Exercise, Lord help us. Pure water, let go of that faucet water. Get you some spring water. Being clean, showered up, right? Sweet premises, right? So, purity, right? Because you can have a negative mind and think illnesses on yourself. Think, you know what I'm saying? You can think certain, depressions and, yeah, like I said, disease on yourself. So purity, being pure in mind, it'll save you from a lot of trouble, right? That we ain't got to go through. She said, with but little expense. She said, all of these things are within the reach of all with but little expense. Man, it's going to cost you a little something, right? But drugs are expensive, which they are. We say, man, being vegan is expensive. Drugs is expensive. You're going to have to buy that medicine. Spend that $100. And you're going to have to keep spending money on medicine. Keep going to the doctor, right? And don't get sick and miss work. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I'm fighting this illness now. But I think it was due to, like I said, what they doing to this air. Spraying it with all these metals and stuff. I got to give me some Kaleido silver. Drugs are expensive, both in the outlay of means and effect produced upon the system. So yeah, drugs affect our body systems, right? But I just want to read that again. But the remedy to all of this, right? Of course, moving in a country, right? It'll be very beneficial. Man, I know it's leaking like a mug. I'm just doing it the natural way. Letting this natural process have its way. But yeah, pure air. And we all in this together, y'all. Pure air, water, pure water, cleanliness, a proper diet, purity of life, and a firm trust in God. Don't forget that, y'all. But hopefully this was informative and it just helped y'all connect the dots of what's going on, right? I got another video I wanted to show, but I ain't gonna show y'all. I'll show it later though. The Rockefellers, they infiltrated the medical industry, and I'll show y'all later how they did that. But catch y'all next time, man. Y'all be easy. Any questions, man? As y'all can see, eating right don't make you exempt from sickness, all right? It's important for us to know that it don't make you exempt from sickness. But what it does do is it helps our quality of life, and it helps prevent us from being sick, right? Eventually sickness gonna come, right? And our body, the way God designed, is gonna heal itself, and it's gonna go through the process that it has to go through to deal with each disease or sickness or virus, right? Right, but we just gotta do our part, right? Pure air, water, cleanliness, a proper diet, purity of life, and a firm trust in God. And don't forget sleep. You know, people working and running 7 days a week. Sleep, and not just that. God's Sabbath day rest is available every week. Take that on His 7th day of the week, Saturday, from Friday evening to Saturday evening. But thank y'all for listening and watching. Catch y'all next time. Y'all be easy.